Thank you! It's Spamtron's Chrono Tripper. Thank you, Bunny. Bunny is a Janny. I'm the only Janny. Am I gonna make a video about Lefteris Stamatogenakis? Am I in the fucking ballpark of the guy's name? I did, but I'm not sure I want to upload it. Like, I've made a couple videos where I'm like, don't want to upload this, not really, because I feel like I'm gonna be saying stuff that something more significant is gonna happen and have me just fucking repeating, and I'd rather just save it for when the more significant thing happens. Keep it in my pocket. Keep it in my pocket. He is Greek. I think the chief technical officer of BeamNG. He complained about Video Games Europe's statement. Yeah. Wait, is he actually on the board? Wait a second. I didn't realize he was on the board. Let me check. No, he's not on the board. But BeamNG is a member of the German Video Game Industry Association, and that association is a member of Video Games Europe. I believe that is the means by which he is effectively a member. And he's concerned about the damage their position will do. And he is very right to be very concerned about the damage their position will do. And it's going to be fucking amazing. It's going to be real good. It's going to be very good. People need to shut up about the risks of consumer advocacy. Bro, look at what your own fucking representatives are doing to you. They're making you look like Satan. People are going to want you to eat your skin. They're going to want to peel you alive and then cook your bleeding corpse, making statements like this. Like, do you not understand? A little statement like, oh, careful, private servers. Private servers might cause reputational harm to publishers. They say, well, says fucking Gorlax the Obliterator on behalf of EA in a statement where he also advocates for EA's right to grind your bones to make bread. Do you understand? Do you fucking... I'm not even turning the light on, man. It's too fucking hot. It's only 33 outside, but I am in a loft. I am in a loft, and it's fucked. It is fucked up. So there's going to be a hum in the background, because I am not turning my aircon off. You cannot make me. You cannot make me. Even for a couple hours. Not happening. No. But yeah, I've thrown away like 2 10-minute videos just because I'm like, I'll probably be saying this later about something else, right? Even in Cardiff, you're melting. Whalesoid detected. Am I insane? You ever have a moment where you think you've become retarded and you think somewhere is somewhere but it isn't there? Cardiff is Wales, yes. I feel like I'm going insane. There's a little part in the back of my brain that's saying, it's Scotland. But I have this terrible thing. It's the capital. Yeah, but no, Hex, here's the thing. I'm all fucked up about capitals. In my soul, for most countries, I have a desire to say somewhere is the capital that is not the capital. For Australia, in my soul, in my heart, I want to say that Sydney's the capital. But I know it's Canberra. I know it's Canberra, but I want to say Sydney. Switzerland. I want to say it's Zurich, but it's not. It's fucking Bern. There's like something wrong in me where I want certain cities to be capitals that aren't. Sydney is not the capital of Australia. It is not. No. Don't gaslight me. Let me check. Capital of Australia. It is indeed Canberra. I don't know if I'm saying it right, though. Lucky B would yell at me. Lucky B would yell at me. What is the US capital? It is, of course, Puerto Rico. How's that? You like that? Right. Joe Caramel. This is another form of capitals fucking me up. The capital of Brazil is fucking Brasilia. If someone asked you what the capital of Brazil is, and in your head you think Brasilia, or at least for me, I have to stop for a second and think, wait, that seems retarded. Wait. If this isn't right, I'm gonna seem like the dumbest man on earth if I fucking say Brasilia. Another capital that's like that is fucking Mexico. What's the capital of Mexico? Mexico City? No, that's correct, but when it comes into your head, you have to stop for a second and think, oh god, wait, is this right, or am I about to say it and look like the dumbest man in the world? Wait, am I crazy? Hang on. Capital of Brazil. It's Brasilia, yeah. Like, Mexico City sounds dumb as fuck, but it's just true. Sydney is where all the weird wokies are? What are you talking about? Sydney's where all the Chinese are. I was just there in September. It's just China. China too. Yes, the capital of the UK is, of course, United Kingdom City. It doesn't... Ah, yes, America City. Capital of Germany, Deutschville. Capital of Brazil, Brasilia. No, that one's real. There were some disappointments in Australia. Like, my girlfriend was hyping up Gelatissimo, which she calls Gelatismo. We got a scoop each, and it was fucking disgusting. It was horrible. It was so gross. Just sugar with a hint of the actual flavor. I got rum raisin, and it was like... Phew, you could run an ant colony for 100 years on a scoop of that. Gel autism. We're going to look at some stuff today. Someone said, what, no Reacty Kino? There will be Reacty Kino, don't worry. We will be looking at stuff. The thing with videos is, like, part of me wants to just pump them out. But then another part of me is like, I have stuff I want to say. But if you want people to hear it, it has to coincide with the relevant event. So I end up with a backpack full of takes that I wait for the right situation it applies to show up and hit it with. And some of those just never get said. Which I imagine many people are in my position. You could always say it without connecting it perfectly to an event.
Are we cleaning today?
We're not cleaning. We're pumping filth into it. We're making a swamp. We are making a swamp. Like, if I make a video where it's just me talking about what this Lefteris, if that's how you say his name, guy, the response is just going to be, who? Like, I feel like the focus of people's reception of it will just be on, who the fuck is this? BeamNG, yeah, I like cars. That's all that's going to happen. But it's fine. He can't read one did well? Yeah, but that's like... Just put Pyro Software's face in the thumbnail, man. On my food channel, I'm going to start just putting Pyro Software's face in the... Pyro Software would never be able to eat this much food. Will be my next upload. Oh. For real though, Pyro Software, beautiful man, says, or rather has said, so many shit things that he is a legitimate springboard for just a plethora of takes. You can legitimately, like, he is a valid trampoline from which to launch your takes in so many cases. It's really good and it's really fun. Like the Pyro Software can't read video. I would not have made that if he hadn't said these guys can't read. I saw him say that and I just laughed. I was like, fine, I'm making the fucking video. Fine, twist my fucking arm. I wasn't going to. That's one of those things where I was thinking about it, and then this motherfucker goes, you can't read. Okay, get fucked. Bam! Go! Anyway, Pyro Software will run away from this dish. Yeah. I'm gonna buy a bunch of dried bugs from Amazon. Eating Pirate Software. Cockroach and thumbnail. Oh. Pirate Software's ferrets will never eat food this good. ManaPotionCoffee.com. Bard's Ballad Coffee. Orc Grog Coffee. This is fucking pathetic, man. Peach Earl Grey tea. Okay. But is it really Earl Grey then? They've got... Okay. I know what you're doing. The Tea-mancer. They've got a bunch of fucking titty teas. Look, I know what you are. I know what you're doing. Hang on. Why even bother? I'm just gonna say, why even bother having, like, novel flavors? If you're gonna sell it with tits, just sell normal tits. There's, like, you don't need to. Like, you're wasting your time. $20.99 for 20 tea bags. That's nuts. They've got a short stack goblin. I think this is a Vosh crossover. The sharpshooter. The coffee is cheaper. Hang on. Wait. Aimer Standees Wave 1? What even is this? What is an Aimer Standees? Get yourself an Aimer Standee. What the fuck is it? Get yourself an Aimer Standee. What do you mean? Do you need a watchful eye to tell you how to improve your aim? Well, look no further. We took your favorite aimers and shrunk them down into a 15 centimeter tall mark. Oh, okay. It just stands on your desk. People who are good at aiming. You get a little statue of them. Okay, I understand. Understand? Get it? Okay. So let's see the detail of their coffees. See, here's the thing. Light roast, to me, indicates, oh, they might have some good stuff. Because if you're just slinging garbage, it's all going to be dark roast all day. But then you look down, and it's like bean sourced from Costa Rica. They've got interesting tasting notes. Big berry notes match the strong jam flavors. A light roast built for easy sipping with an orange finish. But just it's from Costa Rica. From like a billion different farms, or from one, or from a particular co-op or something, or what? Why not say? Like, it's probably all good, but like, why not say? People like knowing that. I like knowing that. In other words, I like knowing. Like when you go to rave, let me show you. Let me show you where I typically get my coffee from. Normally, I'll get my coffee from here. I'll get my coffee from Rave Coffee. Not to be confused with Rape Coffee. That is not a random, crude, offensive joke. See how it says Rave on the package? Sometimes it says Rare instead, when it's like a limited edition. But very unfortunately, the rare editions often have lighting such that the second R looks like a P. Yeah, and they'll tell you. Rung Eto Cooperative Society produced it. Beans from all those guys. I like having all this info. I like knowing. I like having this stuff. True. Yeah, Rogue Energy. Thank you to the people who are spending a fuck ton of money on Rogue Energy using my code, by the way. Appreciate it. Rogue Energy produced an image promoting their grape flavor that covered the G. That was... like, if I remember right, like, the big picture was fine. But then they had, like, a banner version where the G got covered. Very cleanly. I believe it was like Rape Popsicle. Yeah. Whoops. Genuine mistake. Rogue Energy are not edgy boys. Like, they did not do that on purpose, I guarantee you. Which makes it way funnier. Much better. You drink Chibo? Chibo from Lidl. That sounds like a Star Wars character. What the fuck do you mean, Chibo from Lidl? I'll tell you what I like a lot. It's called, something like Yuang Yang. Wait. That's a woman. That's not a drink. No, it's called like Yun Yang. I don't know how to say it. Yuan Yang. Whatever. It's a Hong Kong mix of coffee and tea. And it's really good. The poop coffee, you're thinking of Kopi Luwak. The civet coffee. Which is often made by putting civets into horrible circumstances. So, if I were to purchase any... Look, I'm sure you can tell from my content. I am a soft-hearted guy. I don't want to buy fucking animal torture coffee. I would have to make sure I'd get wild collected civet coffee. Sounds disgusting? I mean, they wash it off. Some of your coffee gets pooped on anyway, okay, man? For sure. The idea is that the stomach acid does something to the beans. The consensus from people whose palate I trust is that it is nothing special taste-wise, and they are not convinced it even does that much to it. So, yeah, dropping the cash on it, I'm not too interested. I'm not too interested. There's a lot of gimmick coffee. James Hoffman got some coffee grown in Japan. Because, I mean, Japan, pretty mountainous. Why not grow coffee there? Well, I think it was naturally processed, and he was like, basically, any fucking middle of the road natural processed coffee is gonna taste something like this. I think he was saying like you got the whole dried cherry fruits sort of notes and stuff. It's like, you love Vietnamese coffee. I've never had it. I've also never had Thai tea, but I have had multiple Thai tea flavored ice creams, and I have not been too impressed by any of them. Not too impressed. Do you want a recommendation? How many of you guys ever visit Manchester? Are any of you in the UK within spitting distance of Manchester? I mean, to an American, the UK is like basically like a state. So like from anywhere it would be considered in spitting distance of Manchester to you. But within the UK, distances seem bigger because we're not used to such scale. If you ever find yourself in Manchester and it's hot, or you just want a sweet treat, there is a place called Lazy Sunday, and I highly recommend it. It's this little stall, and there is an incredible like Taiwanese bubble tea flavored ice cream they do. It tastes so fucking good. They also do a peach Yakult ice cream that's great. Their hojicha ice cream is amazing. Loads of their stuff is good. I quite like their cereal milk flavor as well. Their cereal milk flavored ice cream is good too. But it's a bit one note. The cereal milk one is one note, but it's tasty. Manchester Airport seems nice. That's where that chick got her face beaten in, right? The female cop got her face beaten in there. I flew out of Manchester Airport, and I've flown into it. Multiple times. Multiple times. Yeah. The Vietnamese egg coffee. I've seen that in YouTube videos, but I've never had it. I went to Iceland from Manchester Airport. Went to Australia from Manchester Airport. I think I'm going to Poland from Birmingham and to Japan from Manchester. It might be the other way around. It might be the other way around. Not looking forward to being in Birmingham even for a second. I told you when I went there last time, but the last time I went there, a guy was just running around in the streets with like blood pouring out of his head, and we got screamed at by a dozen homeless. It's not good. Tried to go to a restaurant, and they only accepted cash or bank transfer. And when we said we don't have cash, we'll go get money from the cash machine, they just started screaming bank transfer at us over and over again, so we left and didn't eat there. I did not mean Iceland the supermarket, no, I went to actual Iceland. The place. Not that the supermarket isn't a place, yeah. Grim. I will say, the nicest place I've been to in Manchester is the Chinatown. And there is a bakery in the Chinatown that does an incredible sort of Earl Grey, really fluffy, ultra light Earl Grey bread or muffin or whatever you want to call it. Well, if you poke it, it will just collapse into a single point. It's so airy and fluffy. Very tasty. A lot of good Chinese baking. A lot of good Chinese baking. Some people don't realize that's a thing. You think of rice and meat, I guess. You think of duck. You might think of things like mooncakes and stuff like that, but they have some good shit within all areas of baking. Recommend it. I guess in some ways similar to how people might not realize that Vietnamese baking is sick as fuck, like French Vietnamese baking is fucking tight as shit. Real good. You're hungry now? Eat something. Earl Grey pie. Okay. Get that bergamussy. Do you want to know PC gone mad? Another example of PC gone mad that I learned. There is a kind of lime that was previously called everywhere the kaffir lime. And if you wanted to make a Thai curry, you'd want kaffir lime leaves. But kaffir, besides meaning an infidel, is also a slur against black people in certain places. So suddenly everywhere is calling it a Makrut lime now. Did you see that? There's one for you. There's some woke politics. What about WPC gone mad? I haven't seen him doing anything recently. Anyway, guess that's enough. I've been talking for fucking half an hour. Zara, you been enjoying the stuff? Let's look at a plumber. Nice. I'm of course continuing to develop it and make changes and improve. And, you know. But hopefully you're having a good time. Bam. Rigger limes. Jaffa orange. Something that fucks a lot of people up. There are people who think Jaffa cakes are orange flavored. They changed the name of a plane in Magic the Gathering because Kala is a slur for dark Indians in an obscure Indian language. Wait until they find out about ukulele brands. Jaffa cakes are of course nectarine flavored. Wait, I'm losing it now. It's nectarine flavored, right? No, it's apricot flavored. What am I doing? Jaffa cakes are apricot flavored. Wait, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Hang on. Jaffa cake? Oh, it's apricot jam. Why the fuck did I say nectarine? Whatever, it's fine. Apricot jam and tangerine oil. Very well. Very well. I'll remember that for next time. They've released cherry Jaffa cakes. Anyway. How the fuck have I been talking for half an hour? What's happening, man? Legally recognized as cakes, by the way. They fought over this. If they were not cakes, they would have VAT applied. Anyway. We'll listen to this guy for a second and then we'll talk to Dad. We'll listen to Dad. Dad tells all. I don't know who he is, but apparently he was going to fight in Creator Clash 3. The now cancelled Creator Clash 3. People.
So, I work in the plumbing. I'm a apprentice. Really, I'm just a helper for a residential service company. Because in the modern job market, in the modern...
This is too real. This is already too real.
Economic climate, formal apprenticeships, state-approved training for skilled laborers is a thing of the past because we can't afford that anymore. But, you know...
When I worked through agencies as a warehouse operative, I worked alongside people who were getting paid a fraction of what I did. But they were apprentices. They were working an apprenticeship. Just moving fucking tubs. Moving tubs. And one of those guys was a guy I knew from school. And he just got fucked. He got fucked. Where at some point before he was going to get whatever the qualification you get is or whatever, however it works, they just cut him off and said, yeah, we're not doing this now. So he spent a ton of time being paid less than minimum wage, or certainly less than I was being paid, on the basis that it was an apprenticeship and they didn't get anything. Just absolutely scammed.
One of the interesting things about service work is that I enjoy is that you meet different kinds of people. And
all right, calm down, Forrest Gump.
One person in particularly, he said something.
Once person in particularly. They hear you speak and they know to offer you an apprenticeship. Also, he's got that CeraVe or CeraVe shit. I put that on my head. See that moisturizer behind him on the shelf? With a little blue patch? That's what I put on my head after I shave.
That kind of stuck with me a little bit. We were looking at this one particular project that it was basically a renovation of a whole building, like a very large.
You were an operative, thank you, a warehouse operative. It's a fancy way of saying I dragged 20-kilogram barrels of mango chutney around all day.
Large apartment building, and he's kind of like a coordinator and like real estate manager, I guess. He's not an investor, but he manages real estate investments.
All right.
He said people are suckers, and he was talking about it while talking about somebody doing something that was sucky.
All right.
And what he was saying specifically was that there are a lot of losers in the modern job market.
This hurts. I don't know if I can.
And just in life in general, there are losers.
Mm-hmm.
People that are taken advantage of. And this is somebody, I swear, the whole time he was with us, he did nothing but just talk. This guy is, I mean, he's loaded. You know, this is a white-collar man making in excess of 6 figures. Meanwhile...
In excess of 6 figures? Do you mean like a bit over 100K? Or do you mean more than 6 figures? Like, what do you mean in excess of 6 figures? What the fuck does that mean? He's raping my brain.
Underneath somebody's crawl space, digging shit out of a pipe. And it really got me to thinking. I kind of feel like a sucker. Make no mistake. In the plumbing industry, the contractors...
Nobody matters but Mario. Even Luigi doesn't get paid half as much.
Who send out these hordes of unlicensed plumbers under the license of a master plumber that's watching over them. Not even licensed apprentices. People who haven't even attended a trade school. They get underpaid, and they're...
Well, that's part of the deal, right? The idea is that you're paid in training in part, kind of.
Suckers. These people get worked to death. Tradespeople, I'm telling you, the treatment of tradespeople is so poor. And the culture of treating... Tradespeople themselves are very masochistic, and the way that they conduct their work, their inattentiveness to safety, for example, the way that they treat each other, the way that they talk about each other, the way they talk to each other, the way they view the world. It's like a race to the bottom, has been my experience.
Okay.
And again, it got me to thinking, many of the houses that we work on, the only people who can afford plumbers are rich people.
Now, I don't live in America. Here, one, that's not true. Two, doesn't really fucking matter if you can afford it or not if your pipes are fucking leaking.
And every single one of these people who call us out to perform work on their houses, they're all loaded. And they're all performing white-collar jobs, like a stockbroker or an insurance agent or a real estate manager. They're all performing these white-collar jobs.
Like, you might pay, I don't know, a couple $100 for an hour or something. Thinking back to when I've had to have a plumber. It might be steep if it's like an emergency call-out or something, but that's not like... If it's that or have no water, yes, you can afford it.
Very seldom are we dealing with poor people. And we charge them up the wazoo. Just to replace a fill valve on a toilet, which is a 10-minute job that anybody could do by themselves. We charge $300 or $400 between the service fee and the actual cost of the exchange.
Okay.
And this is a $15 part that you can get from Walmart. I'm telling you, it takes no more than 10 minutes to change a fill valve.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredibly easy work. We charge $300 to $400. I personally make $20 an hour, and my lead makes about $32 an hour. So what's a sixth of...
No, Tim, not everyone can afford to pay hundreds of dollars at the drop of a hat. You don't have to be fucking rich, though. Having a couple £100 for an emergency is not rich. Not by any fucking stretch, especially for a we cannot wash ourselves or drink kind of emergency.
$52. A little bit under $10. We get paid $10. The company receives $400 in revenue.
You have to be rich to buy a sandwich. No, you don't. Well, some people can't afford a sandwich.
I think the largest reason that tradespeople see the short end of the stick, the largest reason that
hold on. You're saying I didn't say you have to be rich. You said, no, actually, Tim. Meaning that what I said was wrong. I said you don't have to be rich to have a plumber, to get a plumber, or to dump that kind of money suddenly. Curious.
They're not making the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they should be is because they're at large uneducated and they don't speak the language of money, they don't speak the language of business.
They speak Urdu.
Or finance or etc. So they don't understand how poorly they are being treated. Just the extent of how little money they are receiving compared to what the company is bringing home.
No one is going to charge someone more than they can afford. I don't know, man. I've been watching The Sopranos.
And in our company, the people at the top of the ladder, they stay at home and they 3D print fucking fidgets. Or they take a trip to Hawaii, or they throw some lavish party at their house.
Okay, I get what he's saying, but that specific example to illustrate.
Their day, getting drunk, smoking crack, you name it, they're doing it. While this animal of hardworking men are slaving over their jobs.
This animal of hardworking men.
Receiving nothing.
I thought you just spent 10 minutes to install a $15 doohickey. I thought that's what you were doing. Is it not?
Not even healthcare. Because in today's economy, when you're making $20 an hour, you really can't afford to have healthcare. Especially if you're only getting $40 a week out of the company. Sorry, 40 hours a week out of the company. And this is, there's this. If you go online, I was thinking about it. You look up average age of a plumber is 40 years old. There is a 3-to-1 replacement rate for plumbers. For every 3 plumbers that leave or retire, 1 takes their place.
That's real good if you want to charge a lot of money.
And
I'm just saying.
I'm starting to wonder. I think that these statistics are looking primarily at actual licensed plumbers, because I have seen a surplus of younger plumbers, all of which none of them carry.
Oh, it doesn't count cowboys.
A license. It's just not financially within a company's means to invest in an employee becoming licensed. And this message really extends to people who are looking to pursue a career in the trades. Understand that there are a lot of companies out there which will take advantage of you and suck you for every
Don't say suck you. Oh no. There are companies out there that will take advantage and suck you. Yeah, where do I sign up, right?
Of you and suck you for every last bit of energy that you are worth. And despite the mainstream notion that the trades are an exceptional money-making opportunity, which they are for the right person, who is very few and far between. The majority of plumbers which you will meet, they're not doing amazing. Even the ones holding prestigious positions, they're doing all right. Many of them are doing better than your average retail worker or your average fast food worker. Many of them have houses. It's arguable whether or not they can actually afford those houses. Some of them have nice cars.
Okay. All right.
But none of them are doing exceptionally well in the way that people describe. Talk about millionaires being made of plumbers. None of the plumbers that I have met in their late 40s to early 50s to late 50s have any more than like a couple $100,000 to their name.
Am I supposed to cry? Wait, how did we get from the apprenticeship is terrible
Sister Godiva fed
to
the
this?
streamer a 50 Swedish kronor superberry.
Thank
It's
you.
almost like skilled labor people need some of them has to cost more to enable companies to be viable. I tried fixing, made worse and then called.
True. I've come close to doing that, but so far all my DIY plumbing has held up so far. We'll see.
Again, for in some people's minds, it's better than,
In some people's minds, having 100 to 200k to your name is better than what? I could name a whole lot of things. Give me an example.
An equivalent age retail worker or fast food worker or whatever, hopefully.
I think having 200k to your name at 40 is probably better than working at McDonald's in your 40s and not. Well, retail. Doesn't count. Working at fucking, I don't know, W.H. Smith.
You don't spend your entire life in a fast food restaurant, but you've got other careers like sales careers, which are just blowing these numbers out of the park. Finance careers.
Sales is horrible. you would kill yourself. If you had to work sales, I think you would kill yourself. I don't.
The only difference is you have to obtain an education for many of these jobs. But even just, I came from a higher paying job that was much easier. There was a little bit more expectation of productivity. You had to kind of meet a quota, and you're a little bit more replaceable in that job. Maybe your job security wasn't as concrete, or your career outlook.
Yeah, but bro, he's running on the assumption that he's going to be the person who doesn't get fired. Like when he talks about lack of stability, he's treating that like that's a property of the job while you're there, rather than you risking not having your fucking... He's not imagining himself being the guy who gets cut off.
There's pros and cons to everything, but there are so many technician jobs that will like train you, entry-level jobs that will train you to do these niche things. It takes all of a couple months to learn how to do these niche tasks, and right out of the gate they'll pay you $25 an hour, pay you $30 an hour after a couple months in the industry. I personally experienced a job like that.
Atheist gamer role player weeb. What? This guy's saying Goragar's new character is too old looking. Okay, brother. Excuse me, 999?
And I did exceptionally well. I was bringing home more per week than my lead at the company I work for right now is, with only like 6 months of experience in this niche industry that I was a part of. Whereas today I'm bringing home close to half of the weekly paycheck that I used to receive.
Okay.
It's just something to consider.
Appreciate it. That's enough. What else do you talk about? Oh, just this. I live on $1,800 a month and save a lot of money. Possible, depending. Possible. Here's his intro.
If you're anything like me, you didn't grow up with a whole lot of wealth. If you're anything like me, you didn't grow up with a whole lot of wealth.
Incredible content. Amazing. Alright, great. Do you want to learn about what happened to Creator Clash 3? Or at least perhaps some insider drama? I only really saw the damage control, the rearrangement, and then the cancellation. That's about it. I don't know half the people who were gonna be fighting, and I certainly don't know this dad fellow. I do not know him. But he has a tell-all that was recommended to me. It's over now. Also, Anissa made a statement that all along, sales were catastrophic. There was always zero chance of it working out. So they were just fucking with everyone, I guess.
I almost quit when she called me because Harley was out. I was talking to Harley. Harley was talking about his frustrations. I'm 40.
I'm gonna say something. Tell me if I'm out of line. I think this guy might be a homosexual.
4 freaking years old. This is high school garbage. Well, this is a video I didn't want to make, but here we are. You didn't know, Creator Clash 3
He gives me slight Steve-O vibes as well.
is canceled. It's completely over.
Dead.
It's done. It's not happening. But I was hoping and trying and praying it would work out and things would be fine, and I'd be able to box for my third time. I'd have a trilogy in Creator Clash.
Okay,
and I'd
okay.
have 3 first-round wins. That was my goal. And that
So this guy does dancing videos. Did you say it was like randomly in public? Hang on. What are we looking at here? Wait, what the 3.3k views, 3.2k views, 1.8k views, 1.7k views? Oh, when you were talking about, hey Tim, why don't you go to Creator Clash? I thought you were joking because no one watches me. I didn't realize I was actually in with a Oh. Look, just to transition your content, go from dancing in public to just punching people, and then you get to box again.
was my plan. I started training last November, and now here in July, I'm finally on pause with training because Creator Clash 3 is completely done. And even though Creator Clash 3 isn't happening, there still is going to be an effort to raise some money for the charity for Stand Up to Cancer. Aaron from Real Good, from Game Grumps, wants to try to still push people and do some fun things to raise money for.
Yeah, of course he does. Because then they can be like, yeah, but look what we raised. We're still good. Do you think they're even going to double what Hassan got for them?
Charity, and that I would like to do my 24-hour dance stream.
To be fair, my understanding is they're doing it through a platform that Real Good Touring can't touch, right?
Mentioned it before. I was going to do it leading up to the event. I was going to dance for non-stop for 24 hours, and as I'm dancing, we're doing different things to raise money. Please stay tuned for that. Keep your eyes peeled. The good...
All I can say is, when you give money to charity, you never really know what they're doing with all of it. If you give money to me, I'm going to buy coffee, I'm going to buy all sorts of little snacks, maybe a video game when I need a new one. Think about it.
News is you will be able to see me fight at some point. I have been talking to Misfits Boxing. It will happen some point this year. I'm guessing around the fall. So there's that. Now, to begin.
What is going on? This is wild. The food guy I was complaining about being too snappy and too many cuts. This is off the fucking walls. Harmful opinions versus Sungrant. I can't believe Sungrant going off on Pirate Software. That is, you're in the danger zone. He's this close to me finding a funny angle to take on him.
And I'm really bummed that the event isn't happening.
Oh, this is his second channel. I gotcha. That makes a lot more sense. Now watch us go there and he has 5 billion views on every video. Oh. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean. Like, for me, a normal video that doesn't, like, get picked up by the algorithm gets, like, 5k views. Okay? But if you're trying to sell tickets to a boxing event, this just isn't feasible. This isn't workable. In my opinion, at least.
And
it seems to have been the case.
Now here making this video when for so long I tried very hard to not be negative and not jump in on all the negative talk going on surrounding the event. I tried to be a very positive person publicly and promote the event and ignore all the stuff that was going on. But now it's not happening anymore. So it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to say everything.
All right. Have a bad feeling I'm going to be underwhelmed.
I've been thinking. I don't like talking about the money and the payments and complaining about that, but Creator Clash 2 and 3 have genuinely put me into a bad spot financially.
Ooh.
The first 2 years at Creator Clash, we got $20,000. Every fighter gets $20,000 to cover your coach, protein, food, gym memberships, training.
This guy's gay, I'm telling you. He separates protein from food. He's been drinking cum.
First year, I
There's no other explanation.
saved a lot of money with the way I trained. Year 2,
I'm not playing music. I'm not playing music.
comes around. I'm now living back in LA. I wanted to work with my coach, who is still in Portland. So in order to do that,
The hell is that noise? Hello, Saturn Senshi, aka Vitard number 4. Welcome, welcome.
so I got like an Airbnb for a couple of months. So anyway, I spent all the $20,000 on promo, food, gym, training, and then I get back to LA after Creator Clash and I have nothing because I was expecting a bonus. The reason I spent all $20,000 that year was because this person tells me it's going to be
Expecting a bonus. Ooh. Ooh. I was expecting a bonus, but good news, guys. The last few months I've been working on Subnautica 2. How's that for a reference? It's all gonna work.
bigger and better, which it looked like it was shaping up to be. Pausing for a moment to give an editor's note. I might do this a few times throughout the video as I'm going through it, just to clarify and people understand exactly what I'm saying. When I say this person I'm talking to, I'm purposely not saying the name of the person. It's not Ian or Anissa. It's people who work for the event, for the promotion company, the PR company.
It's not Henry, it's not Kyle, it's not Jason, it's not Jacob, it's not Eliza, okay? I'm not gonna say who it is.
Or Real Good Touring. So there's a lot of people who we're talking to. At this point, I'm talking about someone who works for the event that I don't want to publicly expose. And then I'll just take that $30,000 or $40,000 bonus. It'll be amazing. I'll get an actual paycheck. One more pause real quick. When I say $30,000 or $40,000 here regarding what I could potentially earn for the bonus for Creator Clash 2, that was purely speculation on my point. Since I earned $27,000 at Creator Clash 1, it's a bigger event. I'm thinking, okay, I'll earn possibly $40,000. So no one ever said that number to me. I'm just speculating, since it would be more possibly and probably than $27,000 from year 1. When we get back from Florida,
Guys, I fantasized about my potential income and behaved and spent on that basis.
after Creator Clash 2, we were at Marisha Ray's house, and
Speaking of money, did you know Ian Danskin still hasn't paid his taxes? And I'm not kidding.
she was having a party, and there is where Anissa told me, hey, there's no bonus. We didn't get any money from the pay-per-view. People like pirated it. There was people in Discords with 30,000 people watching it for free. But there was no money left over for the fighters to have a bonus. And it's kind of like, I feel like Clark Griswold in a way, where like I'm banking on that Christmas bonus and then I don't get it. I'm probably over clarifying things with all these notes, but I do want to say I wouldn't be able to do this event if there wasn't some type of a bonus pay. I unfortunately am not in a situation like some of the other creators on the cards that can just volunteer their time and put in all these hours boxing and still be able to pay their bills. I had to take this as a job because I need to earn money. I needed Creator Clash every single time to pay my rent. That's just a fact. I don't really want to admit.
Okay. Respectable. He's 10 timesing me on Patreon.
Admit that, but it's true. I wish I was in a position where I could have done this for free and I wouldn't have these
Well, I didn't even realize there were videos about your VTuber group. I just saw that people were talking about you on Twitter.
complaints. So the reason I even took Creator Clash 1 was because I was getting $20,000 and I knew I could keep some of it. So this year, year 3, I get on the phone.
Bro, do you have fucking worms? Just sit still.
I talked for an hour and I was like, I really don't know if I want to do this. What I was told by this person, yes, you're probably going to make a check this time. A ton of people are going to watch it. The mistakes were learned from year 2. Well, now look at where we are. It was even worse than year 2. And now I don't know if it's from the boxing, but it happened
I mean, like, no shit.
one night when I had a very hard sparring session. And when I turn my head now, I see bright flashes on the side and left of my head. I'm seeing them right now. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And I never had that happen. Then that night, it started happening. And it was after 2 weeks in a row of hard sparring. And that was the hardest sparring I'd ever had. Didn't take me down though. And then he had to take a knee. And he is a 27-year-old amateur boxer. Just saying. Well, what the heck does it matter? Because I just did it all. And now I'm seeing flashing and my knees kill. And I don't get anything for it. And there's no fight happening. One time during training.
You have to just go outside and start punching someone. It's the only way. You have to take out your anger on a random stranger now. I'm sorry.
Not too long ago,
Rules of
my
nature.
whole arm went numb again when I got hit by a shot. Now, that being said, this is boxing, and I did sign up for it voluntarily. I'm aware of what happens in boxing. I'm aware you get injuries, and I'm okay with that, and I'm willing to accept them. It's just
like do a little bit more boxing and you'll forget this ever happened. And then we're good, right?
really disappointing and a bummer, because now I don't get to even fight in the event or make a little bit of extra cash to help pay rent. Creator Clash 3 this year didn't pay us the $20,000. They paid us the first 2 years. We were offered $15,000 this year. Then I heard through Harley, LA Beast got the 15 and then an additional 7,000. And I was like, what the heck, dude? I just talked on the phone for an hour months ago and got convinced to do this because I was told everyone was getting paid the same thing. Now someone's getting 7,000. I reached out, I was like, can I get that 7,000? Answer was no. Answer was, okay, we can get you a brand deal. That's
LA Beast is way cooler. Sorry.
not happening now.
Oh, he is going to do a boxing event. Okay.
LA Beats makes more than us. He makes
The Dementia League.
out with more money. I'm in 3 of these freaking things. And I'm not blaming LA Beast. He got what he got because he asked for it. Why the heck did I not get it when I asked for it in the very, very beginning before the thing was even announced? Then I go camping. People on the internet were talking about this camping trip. The trip was set up by my coach as something he wanted to do in his life.
Okay.
He likes camping. And he thought, hey, you and Ren from Corridor and I trained together. Ian's like, hey, I want to come. Ian came down from Seattle. He joined us. Odd Ones Out was there. Alex Ernst was there. Steven, another YouTube boxer, she was there. It was a bunch of us. On this camping trip is where Ian tells me, hey, I'm doing another content cop. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he goes, yeah, it's on Ethan. And I was like, Ethan Klein? And he said, yeah, it's on Ethan Klein. And I thought, oh, no, why would you do that? The reason I was so concerned by this, Ethan and I had a very big misunderstanding for Creator Clash 2 with our promotion for the fight. I'm not going to tell this story again. I've told it in the past, but like everything's fine with Ethan and I. It's all done. We've talked and we've messaged and we're all good. So when Ethan and I made up, I was so relieved. This like huge weight came off my shoulders. I was like, okay, I'm not at odds with somebody. Then Ian tells me before Creator Clash 3 is about to happen, oh, I'm putting out a hit piece on Ethan Klein. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
Something that I think is probably going to turn out to be relevant. Anissa has claimed that the attack against Ethan didn't have an impact because, in fact, the sales were fucked from the start.
God, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to cause trouble? Because now I'm thinking, this is going to ruin Creator Clash 3, and I'm going to get screwed again. Yes, I can tell him I'm concerned. I truly thought it was a work. It was like a WWE promo thing where like they were going to have a fake feud. They were going to make up right before Creator Clash 3. Genius promotion. I watch a lot of wrestling, though, so I probably was thinking incorrectly because that wasn't the case at all. It was a real beef. I don't keep my ear to the ground when it comes to YouTube drama. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's mad at who, and I don't care, and I don't want to know. I wish it was back in the 2010 days and everyone was doing sketches and stupid characters, and we lived in simpler times watching someone talk about a Game Boy Advance game. I will say.
Fair enough. Watching Chris Broad advertise 100 products in Japan.
If you're new here, please subscribe.
Wait, there's been another raid? Gamer Legend Celebrity Ben, thank you for the raid of one person. It's you. Thank you everyone watching for your one-man raids.
Subscribe and check out my new talk show that's filmed here in this television studio. Top of the line production quality going on in here. And I love doing it. And you can be an audience member. You can call in and you can talk to me and be on the show. So Ian and I are walking around getting firewood. And he's like, yeah, Ethan said a bunch of stuff about me and Anissa, and I need to respond to him, so I'm going to make a content cop. He puts the thing out, and he screws every single person. He screws Real Good Touring, all the business professionals who are making this event with him. He screws me. He screws every other boxer.
Thank you for the Bezos dollars. Thank you.
Everyone was screwed from Ian's dumb video because he couldn't wait 2 months. And here's the thing, I'm not going to tell someone what to make. Even though I don't like drama and negative content, it's not my place to do that. So I chose not to do that. At some point after the Content Cop video, my friend Yoda talks to me and says,
the thing is, I'm so fucked up watching this. Does he say the same thing over and over and over and over again and then cuts it into a coherent sentence? Or will he say something, sort of like spaz out, go to the other corner of the room and then say the next line and then snip them together? Like, what is happening such that this editing must exist?
As all this crazy stuff's going on with Ethan from H3, Child Services is being called on him, he's getting human skulls mailed to his house. I didn't know what any of that was about, but I felt bad for him because it sounded insane. So I went to an H3 live stream and donated $20 and left a comment to try and say something positive. I also said I was bummed about the Content Cop video and confused on how to move forward. Now, I'd like to clarify why I did this. I could have just DM'd Ethan on Instagram to say, hey, I hope you're doing well. But I hadn't talked to him in like a year, and I didn't know if he was going to respond to me. Also, I really wanted to publicly say, hey, this video is kind of weird in a simple way. When I said we're all kind of confused by this.
I did it because I haven't talked to him in a long time bit is kind of weird. The bit where he's like, I want this to be public, makes sense. The first bit I don't get.
I was sharing the sentiment of a few fighters that were genuinely confused as to why Ian and Anissa made this video when we all have an event coming out. So all the fighters had been very quiet and were like afraid to talk about things. So I thought if I made this donation, I could say in a sort of friendly way, hey, yeah, we kind of think this is weird. Hopefully it all blows over. I wasn't trying to insult Ian or Anissa, but I was just addressing the obvious that, yes, this is awkward now. I'm sorry. And I felt that was not an unfair thing to do. Then the next day, Anissa texts me a screen grab of my donation, and she says, is this real? Anissa took that as I was supporting her.
In my mind, there's a possum with a knife in its mouth on the ground, and his movements are to get out of the way of it, occasionally like slashing around with its head.
Enemy that she has chosen, by the way. Ethan and H3 are not my enemy. So then Anissa makes me feel guilty and bad for what I thought was a nice thing. And she's like, oh, I can't believe you would do that. I'm 44 freaking years old. This is childhood, high school garbage. What the heck are you doing? I was texting Yoda, my friend, about this, and I said, I think I'm gonna walk. I'm not dealing with her. I can't do this right now. I almost quit when she called me because Harley was out. I was talking to Harley. Harley was talking about his frustrations. I was saying, yeah, Anissa just called me. She tells me, this really hurts us.
More than a few red flags, yes.
That you would say this. Because in the donation, I said, this is really confusing for all of us. I don't know why they put that video out. It hurts you that I said I'm confused why you're ruining the event?
You're talking to an e-girl. She's all that matters. Come on. You've been around long enough to understand that, at least.
What are you talking about? It hurts you more that you put your video out. Not me being upset about it. Oh, I burned a building down. Now everyone's complaining, and it really hurts me that everyone's complaining about my fire I caused. What the heck are you talking about? She acted surprised that I made that comment on the H3 stream when she said, but Ian told you he was making that video on the camping trip. But just because he told me he was making a dumb video doesn't mean I should just automatically be okay with it because I heard about it beforehand. I can still think it's a dumb idea to put out when you're simultaneously putting on an event that's supposed to be non-political and not tied to any drama. Now at this point online, all anyone is talking about is how Creator Clash is failing and it's a disaster. So I thought, in order to combat some of this negativity and maybe try to sway some people into having some sympathy for the fighters and maybe put a positive spin on all this and get people motivated to support the event, I thought I would go on Keemstar's podcast. And Keemstar
now, I'm not a huge Keemstar follower. I feel like getting involved with Keemstar for the sake of spreading positivity is an insane strategy. The most
has an audience who actually watches YouTube boxing. But before I...
That last part makes sense if you have never heard of Keemstar before in your life and all you know is that he's had some kind of involvement with boxing.
Could go on the podcast, Ian saw a thumbnail Keem posted with my face on it saying I was going on his podcast. So Ian calls me and says, we'd rather you not go on his podcast because we don't know what he's going to say. I said to Ian, it doesn't really matter what Keemstar says because he's going to talk trash about the event regardless.
Yeah, but now he has someone who's going to be at the event coming on. That's insane.
Whether I go on the podcast or not, if
Come on.
If I go on, maybe I could at least combat that and...
He has the gene. He has the gene. He has the gene.
Try to sway some people and defend the...
They're going to make fun of me anyway, so why not get on there and fight them? Oh.
event and make people kind of feel some sympathy for me and the other fighters and possibly turn the tides and get people to come around on this. Ultimately, I told Ian I wouldn't go on the podcast because now I'm thinking I'm rocking the boat. I don't want to make people upset. I don't want to get Ian and Anissa to kick me off Creator Clash because I'm being controversial or I'm stirring the pot and causing problems. I really didn't want to get kicked off. And I also didn't want Anissa to call me and get after me again for doing something that she didn't like. I thought this was too risky for me and I was jeopardizing my own stance in position in this event. Right. So I said, fine.
Jeopardizing the income you needed.
I won't go on the podcast. But the whole time I'm thinking, I really do want to do this. I want to go on there and talk to Keemstar and try to promote the event and face all this criticism and try to do some damage control because no one was doing...
I want to do damage control talking to Keemstar. Like I said, never been a huge Keemstar viewer. What little I've seen of him makes that statement sound like one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life.
Doing that. But I did also get injured that day in sparring. My arm went numb, which is a thing that happens sometimes when I got hit. So I had to go to the doctor. So it was probably for the best that I went and got that checked out. But I did say to Keemstar, I would like to come on the show later and talk about this because it was something I wanted to do because nobody else was doing any damage control for this event. Now, every fighter in Creator Clash 3 was offered $15,000 to cover their fight training, except for LA Beast, who I guess got $7,000 additional because he said his training cost more than that. I don't know if anyone else got additional money, as far as I've been told by...
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. He's also just cooler than you. That's how it works.
By the event, he was the only one. Regardless, when the event got postponed, they offered everyone an additional $10,000 as an extension to extend your training until October. Okay. A lot of people couldn't do the event now because it was getting extended. Myth dropped out, LA Beast dropped out, Freddie Wong dropped out. I didn't drop out. I thought
LA Beast, I do not think dropped out because it was extended, though. Didn't he explicitly state too many red flags, too sketchy?
About it.
Am I misremembering?
I thought, is this worth doing? And then ultimately I thought, I really want to box. I've been training for so long. I don't want to stop this, and I want the event to happen, and I really want to get in that ring a third time. Also,
Strat King says, I got this Seth Rogen gene. Hate him, this stream gonna be much longer. Like an hour, maybe 2. Cause I gotta get some beer with the fellas before going on this date. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Maybe don't show up to a date smelling like beer, though.
that $10,000 will help me out. In addition to that $10,000 extension dollars, I was going to get now a cut of Ian and Anis's 34% that they were going to get paid. But since they've dropped out, all that money will go to the fighters. I'm thinking this is great. And on top of that, I would also potentially get a bonus check after the event sells out. They'll split up extra money with all the fighters. So I'd get 3 types of payment. I'll get that $10,000 extension and then the 2 bonus checks, we'll call them. But now that the event has been canceled, I'm not getting that extra money. I'm not getting that $10,000, even though I did some of the extra training, because the event's canceled now and it's just over and there's just no more money. And it's really messing me up, and it's really hard for me to be okay with this. That's why I'm making this stupid video, because I'm upset. It sucks.
Well, and you need money.
I put my heart into this. I got freaking beat.
How many takes did you do there, buddy?
Hard this year, harder than I ever had. And I thought, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna train like a freaking professional. Keep my head down, avoid this drama, and now here I am, screwed.
At this point, I just started getting too worked up, so I'm now just ending the video. When I filmed this, I just sort of spilled my guts and got kind of worked up. Then I remembered more things I wanted to say, and I tried
44-year-old, by the way.
to compose myself a little bit better, so the video's a bit wild. The last thing I want to say is that I always tried to be respectful of them, publicly and personally.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
When I was talking to them, I've always given them the benefit of the doubt and never really wanted to place blame on them or anyone. And then it turns out they were just talking trash about me behind my back.
Oof.
Ian's coach said on H3 that they used to say I was weird and talk trash about me.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
And then I also heard the same thing from Froggy Fresh 2 years ago. I don't care if people think I'm weird, because I do make weird videos. I like being different and unique. I'm used to people saying I'm weird. I was just very surprised that it was happening by 2 other creative people. I thought they were like me, and I didn't expect them to make fun of
You thought we liked this guy? I don't necessarily hate him or anything. This is the first time I've seen him in my fucking life.
me for being different. I thought that was the point of Creator Clash, was to gather the unique people and put them in a boxing ring. I guess not.
So there you go. That's everything. That's
I wanted hot gossip. I didn't get it.
my side of things, and that's how I feel. I'm a little embarrassed to even put this video out and join in on this conversation and expose myself and show myself as getting worked up, but I'm choosing to put it out. I'm choosing to leave that stuff in because that's how I feel, and it's real, and this is what all of this has done to me, and it's made me act this way and feel this way. But it's all over. It's done, and we don't have to think about it anymore. You can see me box on Misfits soon. I will give you updates on that once I have them. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, he's doing Misfits. Okay. If this is the standard for Creator Clash 3 stuff, I don't think I ever want to hear about it ever again. Very boring. I'm going to play you some music and go take a piss real quick. I need to pee. I've been drinking way more water than normal because it's very hot. See you in a minute. I'm back. Pokemon Ash Music, it's a remix of fucking Chrono Trigger. What's wrong with you? This was suggested to me and interests me because I love those little Caleb Hammer clips. I adore them. This is the guy who gets people on his show to just explain why they're retarded and it's their fault they're poor. It's really good. Caleb Hammer is very fun. Very fun. I don't know. So many clips I see just do not sound real. Do not look real. It's an extension of... There used to be a similar show on UK TV where people would complain about never being able to afford anything. And then the guy's like, well, we went through your bank account and found you were fucking eating out for like £100 every night. I think we found... I think case closed. I think we figured out what's wrong. Shit like that, but this guy has even wilder stuff. People going into absolutely ludicrous debt and then being like, I'll pay it off one day. Very enjoyable. But this man, Noah Chrysler, whatever, Caleb Hammer fired me, then sent me the footage. I don't know what the footage is of. I don't know what he did. The thumbnail suggests it's some kind of security footage. Who knows what impropriety is alleged? I guess we'll have to listen and find out. Payday loans for Uber Eats is insane. I haven't seen it in a while, but there used to be ads all over the place here where it would be like a picture of some chips. And it would be like, go on, treat yourself, you deserve it. And it's not an ad for a takeaway or something. It's an ad for payday loans. Can't afford some French fries? Take out a fucking £100 loan at 900,000% interest.
Hey guys, what's up? I have attempted to record this video
Stop holding your fucking microphone. Fuck me, I'm pissed off already.
at least a half a dozen times, not just within the last week or so, but within the last like 6 months or whatever. Since I've started making content again, I've tried to start this video so many different times. Nobody understands. That's the other thing, is that nobody understands. Nobody understands that I think about this situation compulsively. I think about this situation at least once an hour every single day. I'm filled with fear around this situation.
What is... Are you being threatened? Is he threatening to audit you? Is he threatening to give you a, help you budget? YouTuber survives a near-death crash and divorces her QAnon husband. Why did he make himself look like he's a Klingon in the thumbnail? I got the job. It wasn't what I thought. Crying face thumbnail. Okay.
Underscore fed the streamer
Thank
$2
you.
Superberry. I took out a microloan for this donation.
Don't worry, King. The stocks will go up. Harmful stocks.
You know, even though I have had months to decompress and months to rebuild myself as a person, right? Like, I still think about this situation and it strikes me to my core with fear. Let's give this thing an intro, huh?
Okay.
My name is Noah Chrysler. For about 8 or 9 months, I believe, last year, I worked for a man named Caleb Hammer. The job started out as a dream, right? If it originally felt like I was like living in this dream, that like my dreams were coming true and I moved all my shit
N-bomb, it's pretty bad already, isn't it? It was a dream. Seemed like a dream. It was like a dream job. It was like my dreams are coming through. Dream? I go out of my way in edited videos to avoid repetition of nouns as much as possible. He's doing the fucking opposite. And it's horrible. It's so bad.
to Texas, and then it slowly devolved into a nightmare. I signed 3 contracts while working for Caleb Hammer.
Thank you for the sub, Bold Wizard Man.
Each one includes things like a non-disclosure, a non-compete clause, and legal language that made it incredibly hard to figure out what I'm even allowed to say. And because this all happened in Texas, I've had to navigate a legal landscape that doesn't exactly favor people in my position. Okay. Making this video has been absolutely exhausting. I've spent weeks trying to get it right, fact-checking, editing meticulously, and replaying memories that I wish I could forget.
Yeah, I researched it. I crossed my legs, closed my eyes, and replayed the memories.
I did this because I know the risks, but I also know what it's cost me to stay silent. This isn't easy for me, not just legally, but personally. For the first half of this story, I considered Caleb to be one of my closest friends. We worked side by side, and I barely knew anyone else in Austin, so the way this ended is something
So you worked with him for a few months. Did you know him for years before that? Or I need context.
I've carried with me.
How was he one of your closest friends?
Every day since. Throughout this video, you'll hear my voice come in from time to time. Those parts have been carefully crafted to reduce my legal liability.
It's so strange. It's like a sales pitch. Finely molded from artisan leather. Carefully crafted to reduce my legal liability. Like, what the...
Putting this out at all might be a mistake, but I'm going to do it anyway. Over the past 6 months, as I've returned to making my own content, I've been using it as a way to sort through the harder chapters of my life. I started a podcast series called My Failure Resume, where I reflect on old projects, not to wallow, but to make sense of them, to lay them to rest. I didn't set out to make this video.
Hey, so here's why other people are bad, and I'm not a fuck-up. By the way, check out my I Fuck Up Everything in My Life podcast. Check out my I'm a Gay Retard podcast.
But if I'm honest, I think some part of me always knew it was coming. That behind the other stories that I was telling, this was the one that was waiting. And sooner or later, I'd have to face it. There were some things that were happening at the company that I was deeply not okay with. So I march into the office of Caleb's business partner.
The basic content is, if you're a softie, morally objectionable. Like, if his problem with it is that he's exploiting vulnerable people, it has to be something more than that, because that is just the format. That's just what it is.
That morning, I had a private conversation with Robert, the main business manager of the company. For weeks, I'd been wrestling with growing concerns about what I was seeing behind the scenes. When I would raise these concerns in other areas of the company, they would fall on deaf ears. That day, I finally voiced them directly and privately to Caleb's main business manager, Robert. I told Robert that I couldn't keep working there unless serious changes were made at the company. That afternoon, Robert pulled me into his office and I was let go. I asked if Caleb planned to even say anything to me as I was being fired, and Robert informed me that no, he would not. As Robert delivered the news, he told me that there was a severance offer, but to receive it, I need to sign an additional agreement. It was the most restrictive NDA I'd seen so far. It made it clear, if I took the money, I couldn't talk about any of this.
Yeah, normally how that shit goes.
I told him I needed some time to think. Later that evening, Caleb texted me a large video file. It was the security camera footage of his business manager, Robert, firing me.
He sent me the video of me getting fired. The subject line just said, "That's you. Look at that. That's you."
Caleb just texted it to
Here's a video of you getting fired, stupid bitch. That's so good.
my phone. Shocked, I watched the video back in disbelief. Then I immediately blocked Caleb's number. Now, I'd told Caleb multiple times, on camera and off camera, that being let go was something that I carried a lot of emotional baggage around.
You can't fire me. I have unemployment PTSD.
It was a trigger for me, and it's something that we even...
You can't fire me. It's too triggering. Come on. Of course, he's suggesting that they fired him and recorded it so that they could trigger him by sending him a video of him being fired. Come on, man.
Discussed on his show more than once. So when I received that video file that night, I couldn't help but wonder, Why send it to me like that at that time?
That's the footage.
That's just what I thought in the moment. I drop everything. I immediately go and I drive to Walmart and I buy the largest baseball bat that I can possibly find. And then I bought...
Out of sheer panic, I bought these items because I felt unsafe and unprotected. It was a personal reaction to fear, not a response to any specific threat. That's not what I'm concerned about. This sounds like you were gonna hurt someone. This doesn't sound like self-defense.
Mace. I bought, like, personal defense fucking mace. And I bought a doorstop so that I lived like a quarter mile from his studio because I moved to Texas.
I bought a baseball bat. I live a quarter mile from his studio. Why would you say this?
Is for this job, and he's just texted me footage of like one of the most traumatic experiences of my life, right? So you can go ahead and say that I am like, you know,
I bought 100 liters of hydrochloric acid.
Irrational and insane, but like, you know, at that time in my life, I was freaking the fuck out, right? I know that sounds paranoid, but in that moment, I did not feel safe. Receiving that video and watching it back made me feel like my sense of security had been fundamentally violated. The next morning, I received an email from Caleb where he explained that he just sent me the video by mistake. Since I was in the video, he got confused. He informed me that he had intended to send the video to Robert instead for Robert's records. I'm only going to make this video one time, and I'm going to do...
Can I see it?
Your mom, fed the streamer a $5 super berry. Isn't that the same thing that Cinebear person did?
Buying the weapon? I have a vague memory. It was either Cinebear or Jack, right? I don't remember.
A good job. I've outlined the major story. There's so many individual stories I could have put in this video that I decided not to. And the only way to do it is with something like this. And I'm going to tell you the whole story of my engagement with Caleb Hammer since the beginning.
Sir, that's a menu. That's a menu from IHOP?
I don't want to make this video. I really don't. That said, I realized eventually that I have to. I had to make this video because I can't get this fucking shit out of my brain. The reason why I'm making this video is so that I can try to achieve something similar to closure. I think about this situation every single day. There's 8 acts here. We're going to go through each one.
Well, it's getting better, right? Because at the start he said he thinks about it every single hour. Which would still be every day, but, you know, if you're going to say every day, it makes it sound like the frequency's decreased.
Tab out if you want. Like, go play a video game. Throw it on in the background. Go for a drive. I don't care. Act 1. Here we go. For the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to turn the most traumatic story of my life into a television show. I have tried to make this video many times. One of the renditions was me trying to cut this situation. I gave a down-the-barrel monologue about this situation. I give an angry monologue in the woods, okay? And then that is a part of this, like, 3-act structure comedy show, like, television show pilot that I was trying to cut. And so, like, for the past 3 weeks or so, I've been trying to take that monologue where I'm so angry and trying to cut it into this, like, funny television shows type thing about my life.
I think this guy might be mentally ill. I know this is going to shock some of you, and you might disagree.
And it's driven me insane, right? Like trying to make the most traumatic story of my life into a television show has actually genuinely driven me nuts. And I've
It's too late for that, man. Way too late.
Been sitting here for like 3 weeks, staring at my...
The point at which you have that idea is the point at which you should realize you're already way past the line.
My computer, trying to get this right, asking myself, why isn't this right? Why isn't this right? Why isn't this right? And the reason why it's not right is because...
On some Nicky's knob shit. True. At least it wasn't an anthropomorphic pudding.
When something horrible happens to you... Hi, Macho. I'm watching back the footage of what I made, right? I'm watching back the edit, and I just realized to myself, there's no possible way that I can sit... After 3 weeks, I sit there and I realize, there's no way I...
Wait. Am I crazy?
My name's Noah. I'm 27. I'm based out of Austin, Texas, and I'm an alcoholic. I mean, I'm on financial audit. This is financial audit. It was gonna be a bit. I was gonna do a bit. I'm gonna try it again. Here we go. No bit this time.
Not. You absolute.
Should we?
I can cut this together in a way that people are going to understand that, like, the anger that I'm experiencing in this monologue as I give it down the barrel of this camera, they're never going to understand why I am this rightfully angry. This will not play how I want it to play, right? And so instead, what I ultimately decided is that I needed to make this video where I just tell you all of this information down the barrel of the camera. We're going to start at the beginning. This is a whole story.
Down the barrel.
This is my whole arc with Caleb Hammer. I'm only going to make this once, so we're starting way back where I want to. I built a marketing agency, right? I quit my cushy job at a marketing agency.
This is rough. Like, it wasn't very exciting to begin with. But after all that, we go into... So here's where it began. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'll give it a couple minutes.
Previously in my life, I had squirreled away $10,000. I'd listened to hundreds of hours of the Dave Ramsey Show and squirreled away $10,000. I was overweight, and I didn't really like my life, and I didn't like my job, right? I had moved to Atlanta a few years prior, probably 4 years prior, to try to make it in the entertainment industry, and I was working some senior living marketing job. Well, I would talk to my parents, and they didn't really understand why I had moved away. And so I took all of my life savings, and I quit my job to build my own marketing agency, right? I picked back up where
Ballsy.
Oscar and I had left off, but I was too afraid to admit that I wanted to do YouTube stuff, right? So instead, I picked up the idea that Oscar and I had where we were building a marketing agency. You know, I got some clients, I made $20,000, but I had spent so much money trying to get this agency to launch that it ultimately...
How the fuck do you listen to this, though? Let's get here.
Video. I pour over that video like for 10 days. I fucking work my ass off on that video, right? As I'm making that video,
it's so bad. It was like a little bit funny for a little while. Schizos are normally good, but he's turned it into something that's duller than a diary entry. Duller than a diary entry. I don't know if I can watch it. Does WPC even have any updates? I don't think he does. I can't watch it. Sorry to the people who recommended it. I was excited because I like Caleb Hammer. That was... There's no new fucking WPC. There's no substantial WPC. Alright. Hold up. We open the folder of death. Get rid of Caleb Hammer. Get rid of Dad. That was more retarded than anything WPC has had or done. Caleb is cringe. Caleb is like bullying vulnerable people. Is the same reason Mr. Beast is actually good. Just torturing the unfortunates. Literally just torturing people who aren't equipped to defend themselves or are incapable from not getting involved when they really shouldn't. It's just abuse content. It's like Ogrish or something. It's like watching animal torture. Mr. Beast, Caleb Hammer, all that stuff is like watching animal torture videos on YouTube. That's how I view it, at least. Let me... check. Michaela Rain's stream? Is her body there?
Hello there.
Chill. No, there's no new card posting. A viewer. Saturn, who raided earlier, is part of a do you call it a VTuber group? Is it a company? What do you call them?
Power One Word has
Oof.
over people. This is what I dislike about the connection here, that it's because
This might be worse than anything we've looked at so far. Agency, a bundle, a mighty bundle of twigs. So, Saturn from the chat is part of some sort of a Neko baby. Saturn is part of some sort of VTuber group called the VTards, and they made an announcement on Twitter about their existence, and people didn't like it. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. So, Akemi, I guess their leader perhaps, made a post. The VTards have assembled. Akemi Kurai, Shirawan, Kitsura Nines, Wendigogo, which is Saturn, who raided earlier, and Nachisumiku, whatever. A VTuber group, not corpo, currently comprised of five based anime girl VTubers who aren't afraid to speak their mind and go against what is deemed quote-unquote politically correct. That's pretty painful, Saturn. That's pretty bad. 2.6k likes, 302 comments, 696 retweets, 847,000 views. So they got a little bit of attention. And they had some videos made about them, in addition to their Twitter disapproval. Let's see. Let's take a peep. Pinned comment. What do you think about this situation? Is it really that easy? Can you just say that and then people comment?
Okay, so it seems that there's been a little bit of a...
Is that Josh?
Situation that has blown up over on Twitter. Now, this is going to be a very hard one to kind of navigate because obviously there's a lot of different opinions floating.
He has his gain up so high, and he's speaking very quietly, I think.
Around a lot of different kind of spectrums of this kind of stuff because many people don't like something, some people are more extreme, some people don't really care. You know, it's a very, very big mix. And I think that obviously this is something that I really wanted to talk about and just kind of discuss and kind of give, I guess, my understanding and my opinion.
Just give it. Don't tell us you're going to give
on this kind of thing. Obviously, so essentially this was a VTuber group which released the other day, essentially saying that, you know, the VTards have assembled. Now, I honestly...
I have a weird feeling that when he tries to say retard, he says VTard.
I think this is quite funny. I think this is the first thing that blew up over in this situation was this tweet from Akemi Kurai. And obviously it's including Akemi Kurai, Shirawan, Kitsura Nines, Wendigogo, and also Nakisu Miku, which we will be talking about later on. You've probably guessed by the name so far, but obviously they say a VTuber group, not corpo, currently comprised of 5 based anime girls, VTubers who aren't afraid to speak their mind and go against what is deemed politically correct. Is that okay?
But how far do they go?
Fine. Obviously, then there was a lot of hatred towards them, and people were not happy about the name. People saying, "What the hell is this? Let's create a VTuber group and call ourselves a slur for autistic people."
What the fuck do you mean, slur for autistic people?
So cool. Shut up.
Why are you being so specific? Why are you being so fucking specific? Retard doesn't mean specifically autistic.
I'm sick of you acting like the word retard isn't a slur and doesn't hurt people. This is grade A high school shit. I don't care if me speaking about this gets me hate. The word retard/tard is offensive and will always be. Intellectual disabilities are not a joke. What the hell? So obviously, yeah, that...
I guess that really connected with this guy. I already know where he's going to go with it.
was one of the main people that was very mad about this, and this was one of the main people that kind of blew up on Twitter for being mad about this. And obviously, me personally, I don't really care. If you want to use the word retard in a thing, I think it's quite funny. I think calling them VTards is pretty funny objectively, and obviously
I wouldn't say pretty funny, but like whatever.
See a lot of people.
It's funny that people are angry about it. That's funny, and on its own, not really.
People have been making fun of them, saying this is grade A high school stuff, saying the person who can't mature past a high school understanding of the world. I wonder if she uses the word lame. Now, obviously, whenever it comes to using the word retard and stuff like that, I think, you know, I like if it's like directed at a disabled person to actually cause harm to them, then obviously I don't think
directed at them to cause harm to them. Okay.
It's okay. I think it's kind of messed up. But I think whenever you're just using it around, you know, I think it's like so many people use it. I don't really care. You know, it's not really going to affect anybody. There's even been people as well who are saying,
yeah, but everyone on Twitter is retarded, so it's always being used against someone it could harm, in your view.
Like, as a medically diagnosed autistic man, I don't care who uses the word. You know, I went to a special needs school, and the kids say
everyone involved needs to die. Sorry, Saturn, if you have to go to get rid of these people as well, you have to go.
Here, call each other retard all the time. If anything, you're being immature for crying over a word. Grow a thicker skin, which obviously, yeah, obviously people saying, you know, nobody said that you're speaking for everybody, but honestly, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. And I think this is probably one of the smaller things whenever it comes to this VTuber group and the kind of controversy that they've gone to. I think if you want to enjoy it, then totally go ahead. I mean, it's fine. But obviously, then it got even worse to the point where Kitsunero obviously made a tweet.
Gotcha.
Saying, couple of thoughts. If you call yourself based, you are not based. Which, yeah, I did think that was pretty cringe, just like saying you're based, like yourself. Like,
yeah, but then it's cringe because it suggests now you're being like meta cringe because you put stock in based as like a fucking protected. Oh, here's the thing. Yes, calling yourself based is cringe, but the way it's being approached here carries the implication that he thinks there are people who are seriously based, and it's a legitimate honorific.
Is that for you to decide? I mean, I don't really know. But obviously, you know, that's just a kind of mute point. It doesn't really matter. But
I think he just said mute point.
See, they said Nakisu Miku seems to enjoy Nazi ideologies. And this is obviously where the video takes a little bit more of a, I guess, darker kind of route. Obviously, they say, and not just some haha edgy joke, but like they legitimately enjoy it and support it. They say it's one thing.
Where I'm left confused, I guess we'll find out. Enjoy it? Enjoy. Support makes sense. Agree with it would make sense. Believe it, they enjoy it.
To be sarcastic and edgy about it, it's another thing to actually support that, which obviously I do think is true. And obviously this was now revealed to a lot of people that one of the VTuber members straight up supports a lot of stuff to do with Nazis and, you know, everything.
A lot of stuff to do with Nazis. Oh, kitchen for her. There we go.
Thing to do with it.
I believe I had a tweet of theirs spoiled. They do pretty... Oh, come on, man. This isn't even... You threw the whole rod in the water. Pinned tweet. We celebrated 1488 followers just yesterday.
And everything in between. And obviously, yeah, I feel like, you know, that is...
You're not going to call attention to that?
It's kind of messed up. I mean, you know, hot take, guys. I dislike Nazis. Like, wow, you know, cancel me.
I dislike Nazis, like the wow.
Well, like, whatever. But obviously,
He sounded almost Trumpian.
Think that, you know, there's different kind of like layers to this whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. Is the fact that, you know, for example, some people can like make like Nazi jokes or whatever. I don't care. I think that's, you know, sometimes they can even be funny, you know. I think, you know, people can make jokes about it. People can, you know, do whatever they want about it in terms of like fiction. But I think whenever it comes,
In terms of fiction,
to actively supporting, what they do and what they advocate for, I think then it starts to become a really, really big problem. And that's where I kind of disagree with, because obviously many people are saying it's not that bad, they're just dressing up in a uniform, whatever. And sure, you could totally be like, okay, whatever. And there's been a lot of people as well in the comments and in my replies. There's gonna be people in these comments as well saying, oh my god, she's so based, I'm gonna go follow, blah blah blah. Okay, sure, go ahead, do what you want. But obviously, yeah, then there was obviously people trying to like cancel.
You're not gonna. You put up like a. Place your bets. Does he know the significance of the number 1,488 that he showed on screen in a tweet? Does he even know what he's looking at?
The other members, for example, this person called Nines, who said, just because I'm in a group with people who have strong...
Thank you, Twitch Censor, for the gift. Thank you.
Controversial views doesn't mean I share every single one of them. I believe in free speech. Everyone is allowed an opinion. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm not here to police others, and I won't be policed either. If that bothers you, don't follow me, don't watch me. So yeah, essentially people were trying to rope in some of the other people to this person's actions.
It's very... VTubers have an extremely drama-based foundation to how they even talk. Talking like this is extremely high school to begin with, even addressing it like this.
In the VTard group. Now obviously I don't think, obviously some of them have expressed their interest in the topic, but obviously none of them have gone as far as Nakasu Miku. For example, Akemi, the one who posted this kind of whole thing, they actually posted fan art of them in a uniform, which again, obviously a lot of people don't really care about, but I do think
let's see it then.
I personally would stay away from that. And obviously, I've been a big advocate for, if you don't like something, just don't watch it. And I will 100% not be watching it because I don't like it. But, obviously...
I do not enjoy the Nazi uniform. I won't look. I will not look at it. I refuse.
I do think, there's different kind of layers.
Like an SS uniform or what?
Is to this that a lot of people kind of get confused over. And obviously, as I said, it's all of this kind of stuff that's been going on. But essentially, what I kind of wanted to get down to as well is...
There's a big one on the screen right now, buddy. Are you going to point to it? Or does he need to find one where, she literally says Nazis?
Because obviously I've seen a lot of people kind of sympathizing with this person and, obviously actively kind of supporting the fact that, they are, being a Nazi on the internet or whatever. And again, if you support that, again, I don't really agree with you, but at the end of the day, I don't care. It's Twitter. There's thousands of these people on Twitter, I'm going to be honest. And is anything going to happen to them? Probably not. They're probably going to gain an audience, and obviously I think that's pretty bad, but obviously, again, what can I...
You think it's pretty bad, but you don't care that much because of what can I do?
I do about it? Nothing really.
Okay.
I mean, that is literally just how the internet goes.
First they came for the VTubers, and I did not speak out.
And obviously, I think that where I kind of draw the line here is for some of the comments that they've been saying. Again, as I said, lots of people have been saying, oh yeah, it's fine for them to be doing this, and this. But I think whenever we get into the actual comments of what they've been saying, this is just something they uploaded.
I see.
Onto Imgur, just to kind of, keep all of this together. They said, these are some of the replies. They're saying, telling people to go back to Israel. They're saying that,
that's the bit that stood out to you? So, for anyone else, I would have assumed they're avoiding the slur because they don't want to say it. For this guy, I have a weird suspicion that he doesn't know that that's a that's a slur, so he had to focus on the I'll go back to Israel.
For example, this one says, too bad it looks nothing like this anymore thanks to the de-whitening of America. Obviously, clearly racist comment there. And I think
oh no! Careful. You will get eaten alive.
I think that is essentially...
You're being very, very, very careful to be inoffensive and not put yourself in danger. Just point out that they're using a slur. And there you go. You got him. Yeah. Yeah, they have a Hakenkreuz armband and stuff in their pin. Yeah. It's a fucking like Nazi anime girl. As the kind of thing where ultimately he's right. If you're not going to do anything about it, anyone going, look at them, they're a Nazi, it's like, yeah, that's their entire aesthetic. Yes, you did a good job, you got them. But also, if someone is this open about it, if you're not gonna attack them and just talk about them, you are just doing promo. The only way you're not doing promo is if someone's hiding it and you reveal their power level, you're doing something against them. Here you're just going like this obvious Nazi girl who calls Jews slurs and wears a fucking hat with the fucking sig runes on it. It's a Nazi VTuber. Yeah? Are you just telling people? You've just made an ad.
Actually, where I don't like it at all. I think if you wanna role play as a Nazi on the internet, fine. It's a free country.
Is it roleplay? I don't know whether it's roleplaying or not. I don't know them.
Free, I guess. Well, at least I'm guessing they're from America. I don't know where they're from. But there's a lot of free speech.
Probably Germany. Actually, no. If they were from Germany, they'd be in jail right now.
The stuff people could say whatever they want, but I think that obviously the racism and the clear kind of.
You can say whatever you want, just don't talk about white people disappearing. More Kazahana, watch out. Hope you don't get attention from this kind of person. Be careful.
It's not a joke anymore. Obviously, lots of people were saying it was a joke and that it's not that big of a deal because it's a joke. But whenever you look into this, screenshots and stuff and the clips, it's really not a joke. For example, they say popular opinion. I think pro-Semitism should be punishable by death. Obviously, making fun of the fact that they're being popular by saying that they like Jewish people.
What? Let me listen to what he just said again.
Obviously making fun of the fact. For example, they say popular opinion. I think pro-Semitism should be punishable by death. Obviously making fun of the fact that they're being popular by saying that they like Jewish people, which is crazy. Obviously, then as well, we've got
I don't think this guy's okay. I don't think these guys are there in the head. Excuse me? Suggesting a lot of people agree with them that they think supportive of Semites should be punishable by death.
This one screenshot from them essentially saying that this is not a joke. And obviously they could be joking about that, being making that a further joke. But I think, obviously this is pretty solid proof that they are...
This is those first few tweets... The straight up Schutzstaffel uniform, the fucking... Gotta be careful what I do with my arm for this segment. Jesus Christ. The pinned 1488 tweet. Liking Jews should get you killed tweet. Calling Jewish people slurs and saying they should be deported tweet. That's all fun and games. This one, though, is where it crosses a line for Kazahana. This is the one where it crosses a line for him. Okay,
not supporting everything. They said, fair enough, the only thing I don't support with Nazis is on killing people, which is a weird one to disagree with if you literally agree with everything else. I mean, obviously if you agree with everything else, I don't really know how you're supposed to get to that conclusion without, killing people. I mean, I don't really see how, you would get to that. But anyways, they say everything else I basically fully support, not a joke. So yeah, obviously they're saying it's not a joke, apart from the if they ever say they want to game end people. They say yes, so
you can say kill on YouTube, you don't even get demonetized, for real.
Bad. What kind of monster will want a harmonious, homogenous society for their people? Obviously kind of glorifying a kind of Nazi place, which I think is just that.
I don't think he understands that he's looking at Wolfenstein. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It is a Nazi place. But we know why you're saying Nazi place. It's because you don't know where this is.
a kind of Nazi place, which I think is just
a kind of Nazi place.
I don't like that at all. Obviously they're saying this. I feel like any of this stuff, if you support this, I feel like, especially after seeing these replies again, as I said, some people are fine with the fact
they got me. What the fuck? I'm fine. It just choked. I don't condone any of this language. I'm watching someone else talking about a third person's language, okay? I'm not saying any of this shit.
That they are doing almost like a cosplay as this whatever. That fine, whatever. But I think whenever you get into their comments and things like that, I think it gets pretty bad, And then also this clip was probably the kind of nail in the coffin for me, at least. Oh. And obviously,
wait, all of those tweets weren't enough. Guys, I think this VTuber might be a bit racist. I'm not sure though, I need a clip.
Maybe it will be for you. But essentially, this is a clip from their Twitter. As you can see, it's officially from their Twitter. 14 seconds long. I'm going to play my one that I uploaded of it.
How many milliseconds?
Because I actually pre-censored it. So I don't have to go and censor this in the editing studio. Okay. Even further. But I'll just play it for you. This is her playing a game called Ethno Guesser, where you essentially guess where the people are from.
Very nice. Genghis Khan, yep. It's about China, yeah. Holy crap, these are the newest news I've seen out here.
So, yeah.
We got him, guys! I wasn't sure. The Jewish slur, the explicit statement of agreement with Nazis, the 1488 in the pinned tweet, the Nazi uniform with Hakenkreuz armband, started to make me a little bit suspicious. But you can never be sure. We got him with the N-word. We got him.
Obviously,
thank you, Kazahana. I wasn't sure until this point.
She's using a racial slur to describe black people, which obviously I think is definitely where I draw the line. Obviously, you could disagree about the Nazi stuff. You could disagree about...
Nazism's okay, but I draw the line at saying the N-word. Ah! My brain is being torn to shreds. Sure, resurrect Hitler and bring about a Fourth Reich, but don't say the N-word. I think, on the...
Actually everything else, but I think using racial terms to describe black people is completely disgusting. And
wait, you were okay with the K word for Jews, though? Wait, you didn't say that about the word used towards Jews in the tweet. Either he doesn't know, or he has a hierarchy where he's like, anti-Semitism, fine. Leave black people alone. Which...
I don't support that at all. I think that is absolutely disgusting that someone would, even go on live to even say that, let alone be thinking out in the first place. And I think that obviously, this is a really big problem. There's so many different nuances to the situation where people are now trying to defend this person called Nakasu Miku. Obviously, there's been a couple of arguments which have been going around in the community, which I just kind of want to talk about. Obviously, one person, for example,
does he even know about 1488 as a dog whistle? Does he know?
Saying, how on earth would you know? No, how on earth did people not know that this was the case?
Yeah! I'm trying to imagine what he's going to say. What is the counter to that sentiment? How would you not know? Clocked instantly. Bring up the profile. You can see the SS on the hat. Clocked. Fucking 1488 in the pinned. Clocked. Like, what do you mean?
With their name, it's called Nakasu, which obviously kind of, resembles what they kind of do on their channel. Now,
maybe I'm dumb. Nakasu? Is it even Nakasu? Isn't it like Nachisu? Nachisu? Oh, it's Japanese for Nazi. Fuck me. He's a weeb. He's called fucking Kazuhana. He should know that, right?
I want to say,
True, Führer. Well, Führer was the first thing I picked out.
It's regardless of, what people knew about them in the first place, I don't know why people keep bringing up this point, like, you should have known in the first place, that is their name. That's not the problem we've got with here. It's not the problem that we think, oh, they're tricking us or something like that. That's not the problem. The problem is what they're actively posting on their pages. And I think that's what some people just don't understand. And obviously, yeah, there's a lot of people that want to be edgy and cool and say that's based or whatever. But obviously, you are just fueling a, pretty solid, Nazi that literally likes.
A pretty solid Nazi? I mean, that sounds like an endorsement. She's a really solid Nazi. What?
That kind of stuff. And also, there's been another point which I've seen going around as well. For example, people saying that, obviously in this day and age, people like to call people this literally for whatever reason.
I mean, they certainly can't complain about being called a Nazi. And from what I've seen, I don't think they do. I didn't know that was the Japanese word for Nazi. I could have guessed, but... part of me didn't expect it to be that blatant. And when I was thinking about it in my head, it didn't sound like... A lot of the time with loan words, it sounds pretty much the same. But Nachis, or however you fucking say it, doesn't sound like it.
Just like burn some food and someone will call you a Nazi for it, and people would be like, getting mad at you.
Thank you. Japanese card? Thank you.
And calling you that word just due to the fact of you just like, minorly messing up, nothing to do with the actual ideology itself. But whenever it comes to this, people have been trying to use that as an argument against this, saying that, they're calling her this due to the fact of, it's a common buzzword for people to use against people that they dislike. But
I don't believe you. If people are saying that, they're joking.
Let's be honest here. Like, this is literally someone who is actively going online and being a Nazi.
Their name's Nazi Miku.
They are literally like bar for bar. I completely agree that it's a word that gets completely misused all the time. I completely agree that is a problem. But whenever it comes to this in particular, they are literally by definition being a Nazi, and I think that obviously is.
To be fair, their avatar doesn't have the childbearing hips that the Nazis preferred.
It's pretty horrible. And obviously, yeah, I mean, this was pretty much the entire situation. I kind of wanted to talk about it, obviously, because there's been a lot of arguments and things going around. I hope that, like, I've provided, like, more of a kind of, not like neutral stance on it, but, like, you know, just a more understandable stance.
I didn't want to be neutral. I just wanted to be more I just wanted to take a more understandable stance.
Especially for some of the people that maybe, you know, are trying a little bit on the fence on it and don't really know what's going
on. People aren't quite sure if this is, you know, a fucking Nazi VTuber girl. I hope I've provided enough evidence. I hope I can finally convince you.
Going on, and maybe didn't have some of this extra context, because obviously sometimes context does matter. Sometimes having these clips of her, you know, saying these racial slurs and things online and saying these kind of things in her replies, everything like that, is kind of extra added stuff, because obviously, as I said, people have different layers as to what they accept and what they don't accept. And I think
apparently you're okay with calling Jewish people slurs, stating support of Nazism. That's like, I disagree with it, but I'm not sure. N-word, you draw the line.
You know, obviously I've kind of uncovered most of the layers here. Maybe there's even more clips.
Uncovered? They're not. It's not an onion. It's just a billboard and all this stuff is on it.
Out there, I don't know, but obviously, you know, maybe I'll give you guys an update if you really want to see that. Again, I don't...
Update. Still posting slurs. Still wearing a Nazi uniform.
I don't really plan on interacting with this going forwards. Obviously, I don't really want to interact with someone who is spreading this kind of stuff, but I think at the end of the day, will they be taken down? Probably not. I mean, I think that Twitter somehow allows a lot of this kind of stuff, and, you know, am I calling for them to be taken down? I don't think so either. Obviously, there's another point that, you know, that people were bringing up was the fact that, like, oh, you know, it's probably better to tackle this like head on. Like, it's probably better, rather than saying let's silence them and delete them off the platform, it's better to kind of talk it out with them and tell them, you know, why this is bad, or
this is the worst take I've ever seen about anything. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, I don't think they're causing immediate clear and present harm or anything, so you know what, there's a free speech defense or something. His point is keep them around so that you can reason with them. Their brand, the brand is Nazi. Like, they're all in, fully dedicated as like a product at this point.
You know, discuss why they think this way in that kind of sense. But I don't really know how that would really happen in the first place. But obviously, yeah, I do think it is horrible. I dislike it very heavily, and I definitely especially dislike
the Holocaust. I dislike it very heavily.
A lot of the kind of actions that we saw in the clips and the screenshots that we just had. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kenzo, get 10% off again.
Your code cancer?
If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kenzo, get 10% off again. There's a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all.
Let's have a quick peep at one other person. Another person has covered it. This might be worse. They're like fucking Nazi stuff on Twitter, whether it's roleplay or not. Who gives a fuck? I draw the line at being a VTuber.
Power one word has over people. This is what I dislike about the connection here, that it's because of the word tard or and it's not. This is not the reason they dislike the group. The reason they dislike the group is because members literally say they believe in Nazi rhetoric, except killing people. Like, bro.
Alright. A true investigator.
Welcome back, my darling Twitcher. We're going straight into the case room here, because I have a...
I can't listen to this.
a case that it just came out today, pretty much. Let me look at this date. As of July 11th, so literally today, and I chose to do it today instead of other stories. Now I'm back from vacation. Yes,
holy fucking Christ.
I'm back from vacation, being lazy with my nephews, and this story is absolutely crazy, and I'm going to try and send some
Let's jump ahead.
for people to argue with her and call her a Nazi, because that's not fun for her. Which, it says in my mind, it's fine for her to do it, but not for other people to do it back to her. I don't deny them, so...
I can't watch it. That's gonna be all for today. I'm fucking fried after that. I can't. It's been a horrible day. All the videos have been fucking horrible. Draining my soul. I'm leaving. I'm fucking out of here. Maybe I'll make a video for tomorrow or something. But I'll definitely have better shit than this, even if it's just, even if I just play some random trash video games tomorrow, it'll be better than today. Hell. 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 I would watch that video, but I cannot physically listen to that person's voice. See you tomorrow. Thanks for the viewership, companionship, incredible generosity. Hope you had at least a tolerable time. Until next time, good night, sleep tight. Don't let the anime girls bite. Whatever.